Black Mirror Season 6. Season 6 of Black Mirror contains 5 episodes, 5 stories to tell here, and recently Black Mirror hasn't quite felt like Black Mirror, so how did Season 6 do? Honestly, only 2, maybe 3 of these episodes felt like Black Mirror. For me, at least, Black Mirror feels like its baseline is that of technology that feels like it could be real one day, and creating a disturbing story out of that. Something that doesn't stray too far from reality, something that feels like it could be a possibility, or in some cases with Black Mirror episodes, something that is actually based on the sort of technology we currently have, and then telling a disturbing story from it, you know, like National Anthem or Shut Up and Dance. 2 of the episodes here, Maisie Day and Demon 79, felt more like episodes of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, because they delve into like the mythical side of things, you know, involving like beasts and monsters. Demon 79 was essentially like that recent Shyamalan film Knock at the Cabin, and this and Maisie Day were probably the weakest, because Maisie Day just doesn't seem to follow like the Black Mirror sort of DNA. You know, it seems like it is going to go off that way, and then the last 10-15 minutes are just completely crazy. It's like a very strange plot twist that just is completely random and just felt like it was thrown in there. Obviously, we're on the 6th season. I'm sure it's getting difficult to think up new stories, but they definitely strayed away from what makes Black Mirror so unsettling, which is the fact that it feels like it could be real. If not now, then in the future. But with these ones that revolve around like demons and monsters and stuff, it just feels like, well, this is just like sci-fi, you know. It doesn't even feel like it's grounded in any way. It doesn't feel like it could ever be real. The episodes that do feel real were pretty solid, one of them being Beyond the Sea, which is the one that stars Aaron Paul, and this is about 2 astronauts in 1969. They're living on a space station, and they have replicas back home, and a replica is basically an avatar for them to transfer their conscious to, so that they can like spend time with their family on Earth, and then they can just, you know, switch back if they need to, wake up on the space station, get what they need to done. This episode was unnerving and tense. It's a bit of a slow burn, but it was certainly the best of the bunch here, the most interesting, the most unnerving in terms of like the story and what it's leading up to. The ending was a bit of a letdown on this though. It went more for shock value rather than something inherently creepy and disturbing for the ending, and I think if it had gone for something a little bit different, it really would have had that lasting effect, you know, the thing that stays in your mind, the thing that you think about because of how disturbing the ending was. But it really just tried to go for something shocking, and for that reason it kind of just let all the build up down. Loch Henry was also a good story, an intriguing and dark tale that didn't feel entirely like Black Mirror, but was entertaining nonetheless. Joan is Awful took a more sort of goofy narrative, not all the time, but for, you know, some of the time, and particularly the ending, and whilst it was intriguing enough, it just wasn't that exciting. You kind of figured out where the story was going, and then nothing really felt like it was going to be that mind-blowing by the end of it. Black Mirror was always very depressing. You know, if you got an episode that actually didn't have like a really dark ending, it felt like a treat. It felt like, whew, they've let us off lightly here. But now that feels like a little less common. It feels like you're getting more and more episodes that just sort of, you know, try to be not too depressing. Of course, most of these episodes end on that more darker note, but the show just felt a little less grounded overall. It felt like the box of ideas is just running low. Hence why we got a bit of a mixed bag here, and, you know, none of these episodes really left me feeling like unnerved or shocked or uncomfortable by the end of it. It was just sort of like, oh, that was an interesting story, and then you just move on to the next. Nothing really sat with me. This was still pretty good entertainment, however. You know, Beyond the Sea and Loch Henry were definitely the best of the bunch. You know, if you're interested in selecting particular episodes to watch, I would say those are the 2 to pick. And the thing with Black Mirror, of course, is you're always intrigued because you're just sort of waiting for things to go wrong. You're interested to see how things will go wrong, but none of them really hit the high notes like episodes in the previous seasons have. The acting all round in the show is really great. The sets and CG all look pretty great as well, but the heart of the most of these stories was not quite there, and there's no 10 out of 10 in any of these episodes for me. You know, there's some solid ones and some poor ones, but nothing amazing. I would give season 6 of Black Mirror a 7 out of 10, and in terms of the rewatchability rating, I would give it a 5, and that really just applies to like the good episodes like Beyond the Sea and Loch Henry. You know, if I was ever to watch through Black Mirror sort of and just select episodes, I would probably rewatch those ones as well. If you've seen Black Mirror season 6, let me know what you think about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.